Hi, how y'all doing? It's December the 28th, 2025. It's Sunday. Here in Ontario, Canada, the sky is like that. Can you see? Right? Cloud covered, damp, icy. We're supposed to get freezing rain today, right? Another one of them, like we had last year. But we'll see, right? That's what they're forecasting anyway. Schuman's at 23 today. It was 24 yesterday. So one step down. My ears were ringing loudly when I rose. All right. I had a rough time going to sleep last night, but I managed. My feet were bothering me big time. All right. Just achy, threatening to cramp, just really uncomfortable. But I managed to go to sleep. Woke up several times to go to the bathroom, dreaming all night. I dreamt I was partying with my friend Tess and one of her male friends, right? And then my ex husband came out of nowhere, my second ex husband, because I was married twice, right? And got mad at me, right? And I was like, what's wrong? It was just her and him. We were hanging out, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Weird. But yeah, different. I woke up shortly after 7 and got up and started my day. A lot of pressure in my head, right? Achy. But it's been like that for a while. My shoulders are tense, right? My feet are icky. But other than that, I'm groovy, right? I am. I text my son, the one that's not talking to me, right? Because I told him the truth when I was drunk last year or a couple months ago, whatever. And I've apologized and everything, but he won't forgive me, kind of thing. So it is what it is, right? I accept that. I do. I'm open if he ever wants to come back to me, kind of thing. But yeah, he's a man. He's on his own anyway, right? My other son that blew off his thumb bought a house in a couple towns down the highway, about a half an hour away. So he's gone too, right? But this is what they're supposed to do, you know? Go out and make it on their own. Um, I was watching a video yesterday, and did you know that there was a Dr. Death Ray in the 1920s? You could probably look him up. Just look up Dr. Death Ray, 1920s, right? He invented a whole bunch of stuff. The British government funded him, right, to make all this stuff. Like he had a death ray, right? He had all kinds of stuff. A sky projection machine, right? He was like, we can use it for all kinds of stuff, right? If there's something we need to get out to the people, we can project it onto the sky so it's faster, and that we could do an alien invasion. I'm saying that, right? Because you project anything into the sky. And, all kinds of stuff like that, right? I think that was uh, the stuff that they gave Nikola Tesla, the props for making. But it was actually this other guy, right? Who really looks like an evil scientist if you look him up, right? Dr. Death Ray, 1920s. So, yeah, they've had this tech for he invented wireless communication, right? I.e., cell phones, right? All kinds of stuff back in the 20s. So, yeah, they've just taken it and given it a new name and kept it secret from us, right? I found that very interesting. He was a Welshman, right? Strange. But it just confirms everything I already know about the tech they got, what they can do with it, you know? Like nothing's real. Nature doesn't attack you. It's them with their machines, all right? the volcanoes and the earthquakes and the hurricanes and the tornadoes, whatever it be, the snowstorms, the ice storms, right? The ice age, all kinds of crap. So yeah, different. My friend came over to us earlier today. Oh, 9:20, I guess, something like that. She wanted to talk. So she came in and we had a cup of coffee and a tea, and I smoked a nice hash joint with her. I got some blonde hash. It's really good, right? So for some reason, I don't know, we were just talking about stuff like warriors do. Because the conversation's different when you're around warriors, right? And I was telling her how it's a fairy tale upside down, right? And I was explaining to her a series I used to watch on television called Once Upon a Time. It explains pretty well what we're dealing with. I don't know if you've ever seen the show or not, right? But it was like an evil witch fucking made a spell, cast a spell over the people of fairy tale world. Every fairy tale character you can think of was there. And they were all living, doing their thing. This evil witch casts a spell, puts over a giant dome over the place where the forest, or the realm where they lived, and then turned everybody into 3D, like you and me. Like the evil witch became the mayor of the city. You know what I mean? The flying monkeys were her police station officers, right? And, like the godmother fairies turned into just women, older women that were bakers and were making pastries and cakes and pies and stuff like that. They ran a store, right? Prince Charming and Cinderella didn't know each other, right? He was dating somebody else until one day their child comes from another realm, Emma, right? And she's awake. She knows what's happened. And she tries to get everybody with the right couples together and stuff like this, and tries to, fix it, to put it back so maybe they'll wake up. Until one day she finally does, right? And they realize who they are. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Sleeping with the enemy, right? Where's my Prince Charming? All this, right? Different stuff like that, right? And I said, this is what we're going through. I said, I wonder who we really are. You know what I mean? In the fairy tale. Because we don't remember. Remember? You know? I said, that's what I've been waiting for the last spell to be broken, so that everybody wakes up and realizes who they are beside, who's with them. Is it the bad guys in the fairy tale that you're married to, or that's your child, or that's your best friend, or your employer? You know what I mean? Are you where you're really supposed to be? Are you with who you're really supposed to be with? Kind of thing. And she got it, right? Then we went into talking about all this trauma, right, that we suffered growing up. And I said, I don't look at it as trauma. I look at it as lessons. You know what I mean? I told her about all the things that I went through, like how many suicide attempts I went through when I was 13 to the age of about 19, right? Puberty hit me bad. It was terrible. You know what I mean? Told her about the shadow being that came to my door, my bedroom door, the night I got depressed when I was in my 50s. But that's also because I detoxed. I was detoxing from OxyContin the doctor had me on for 10 years. I lost 10 years of my life because of that crap, right? I was still asleep. And how I cried for a year, woke up every rising, wondering how many different ways I could off myself, right? And she said, you were detoxing and you did it all alone. I said, yeah, nobody can help you. You have to help yourself. I said, all I've ever wanted to do was be better than I was the day before, Because I didn't like myself very much when I was young, when I was going through puberty and teenagehood, right? I considered myself a terrible, terrible person back then. But I'm glad that I continued to live on. No matter how many times I tried to off myself, something always stopped, rescued me at the very end, right? One time it was a train conductor. One time twice it was my mother. You know what I mean? And the last time, It was just, I think my soul spoke to me or something and said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Right? It might not work. You might just end up a paraplegic. And I was like, damn, it doesn't matter what I do. I can't leave, right? I'm not able to end this. Something always saves me or stops me, right? And I said it was just meant to be this way, right? So, yeah, she was just giving me my flowers, telling me how brave and how much integrity I have and all this, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was a different conversation. So, we talked for a while, a couple hours, and after she left, I came upstairs and smudged with some sage to get that energy off me again, because I don't like going into the past, right? But to speak about it, there must be a reason. I'm releasing it, I'm not the same person. My mother's seen that through my changes of me growing up and into my 50s. I was changing like every year. I said, I've changed, Mom. And she goes, yeah, I know. I can see it, right? So, yeah, it's just evolution. That's what I'm here to do. Get better and better at being me, right? The conscious love that I am. So, yeah, pretty deep conversation we had earlier. Everything happens for a reason, right? It does. Tomorrow, the moon phase changes again, and we'll be into what the waxing give us. Trust and faith, right? Trust and faith. Faith. Don't let the matrix get you down. The program is working on us, right? I've been talking to the planets inside my body because there's a lot of squares in the astrology, and one's hitting us, right? And I've been saying when I go to sleep at night, right, for the planets in my body to be at ease with the squares so the tension is less. What else do you do? Right? Gotta talk yourself into it. It's about self affirmations, talking to yourself good, telling your body and your mind what you want it to do, right? So, yeah. Grounding. What else? Oh, that's all. I know I showed you a picture of the outside, what it looks like. But earlier when I was sitting here, it looked like kind of a pinkish mauve hue in the background. You know what I mean? Not sure what that's about. Maybe it's gamma waves. What people call aurora borealis, right? Or something else. I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm okay with it because it's neither black or white. It's gray. It's a thing, but it ain't a thing, right? I'm just waiting for us all to wake up. Know who we really are. Get this fairy tale straightened out and back onto the right track. I guess I see Mark Atwood made a post today that Mr. T said the movie begins again, or the movie, or what was the title? Dang, I forgot. We get the show on the road. Something to that extent, right? So I wonder what's gonna happen. Their fake alien invasion. Their fake Jesus Christ coming down from the clouds in his dress. What else? The bank's closing in the US of A, right? Because that's a marker that we've been waiting for. It could be anything, couldn't it? A white swan event, something wonderful. Well, this stuff I mentioned is already wonderful because once that happens, we're a step closer, right? To get to where we need to be. So, yeah. So chilly. I'm sure it's mild out, but in my house it feels icy, right? And maybe it's just what I see outside. I'm making it that way in here. I don't know, right? I do not know. I don't know if my son's coming home tonight or not, because there's supposed to be an ice storm, right? We'll see how the roads be. I think it's supposed to start around 3. I don't know, right? I don't consent to any of it anyway. I don't care what anybody's saying, what any forecast, right? Not until the spell's broken, the last and final one, and we get to see who we really are. It'll be amazing. It'll be beautiful, right? I know. Maybe you resonate, maybe you don't. This is my opinion. This is what I see. This is what I feel. So yeah, I'm just going to take the rest of the day over. What? I'm going to take the rest of the day over? Where am I taking it over? I'm going to take the rest of the day easy, right? Just watch stupid YouTube. Maybe I'll lay down for a little bit. In between my shoulders is a bit icky behind my neck at the top of my spine, right? I was watching a thing yesterday, and it said for those with a crescent moon on their hands and the M, you're feeling your energetic wings of your light body, right? And I was like, sounds like a religious thing. You're talking about wings, right? Could be the Kundalini rising, right? Working its way up. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? I'm sure something changes with me. Y'all notice, right? You will. Because if you've been watching me long enough, you're getting to know my personality, right? So if there's a change, you'll notice a change. So yeah. It's supposed to be like 1 out today, 1 Celsius. So it's almost, or a little bit over 0, isn't it? Right? So if it rains, it'll freeze rain. If it rains. But it looks like the clouds, they're trying to force it to. So yeah. No birds. No well, my friend took her canine out earlier. But yeah, not a lot of people out there. It's pretty gray. White, pink, gray, right? Excuse me. Oh, gas. I'm not a princess in this realm, in this 3D, right? I'm not all ooh, right? I'm not. Every day, I'm stronger than the day before. Every day, the spell is broken. Every day, I have more gratitude. I love you all's consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye. Wave me goodbye. Goodbye.